Simon. Hello everyone and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host Alex, but you can call me Senpai, and joining me tonight I have our Wizard of Wait What, Shinoda.
It is a beautiful spring day. Take a nap outside in the grass, everyone. Enjoy life.
Okay, and our czar of source material, John.
You can definitely tell Shinoda just rubbed one out.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. You've been sold out, man.
That type of zen tranquility about smelling the flowers, sleeping in the grass, you definitely just rubbed one out before you told shit.
Yep, that only comes from the clarity of an orgasm, my friend.
I plead the fifth.
Anyway. Yeah, you're right, you do. Alright, so anyway, before we actually talk about what we're going to be doing tonight, which is a Slime Tensei Spoilercast, John, you actually have a tad bit of sad news for us.
Alright, so not just a tad bit of slight news. For anyone who's a fan of Vocaloid, or probably just a fan of his band, recently, as in less than 24 hours ago, Wawaka has passed away from acute heart failure at the age of...
Wait, what?
Yeah, Wawaka. And if you guys know him from his Vocaloid work, he's the one who made Rolling Girl, Unhappy Refrain, World's End Dance Hall. These have all been featured in like Project Diva and stuff. He also has a band called Hitori, or Hitorie. I don't actually know how it's pronounced because I don't speak Moonrune. And for people who don't know, their band actually did the 7th ending song for Boruto, the song Polaris. And yeah, it's just sad bit of news. Acute heart failure. Another one gets taken.
Holy shit. How old was he?
Acute heart failure is a very rare thing to die from in your 30s.
And I actually thought about this. I was like, there's like 2 other people that died of heart failure in Japan that I know of that are artists. And I was like, maybe kind of just speculating here, but I just thought maybe they overdosed on drugs and they're saying they passed away from acute heart failure. I don't know. But
maybe to save the family.
Yeah, but it's pretty sad because Wawako is one of those, like a dollar in a dream type of guy. Started on Nico Nico Doga doing covers and started making Vocaloid music. Caught a break. Started making music and people liked it. And now finally started a band in like 2012 or 13, 14. It was fairly recent compared to like when his internet presence. And it's just really sad for me because my favorite song by him is World's End Dance Hall. Like it's just so good. And it
is a pretty good song.
And his band, Hitorie, he was the lead singer and lead guitarist, I believe. Their songs are actually all right, too, if you like J-Rock. And I'm pretty into J-Rock, and this is just sad, man. Sad.
Yeah, I mean, it's always sad when someone dies that young.
Yeah. Damn. 31.
Yeah. Anyway. We obviously send out sympathies to all of his fans and his family, too.
Yeah, they,
So...
Oh,
go ahead.
Hitorie, or Hitori, again, don't know how to pronounce it. They just released their album 2 months ago. Please support them. Right now, the band is suspended for now because, their lead singer and guitarist is dead. I have no other way of reaching out to them. I know that they're doing a Twitter thing. You can DM them on Twitter, or post on Twitter or whatever, and at them. Condolences. F's in the chat.
Yeah. And I can always put a link to their Twitter in the description of this episode as well.
That'd be great.
So people can go support them that way. So anyway, tonight, as I mentioned before, what we are going to be doing is a spoiler cast for Slime Tensei, otherwise known as That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime. Okay. Before I start off about this, I have a very love-hate relationship with isekai, as many people know, and more than often what happens with isekai that come out now is I hate them. I genuinely loved this isekai.
So, to be fair, I understand why you would hate them because just like anything else, when something catches on, other people start making more of it and it just gets what's the word I'm looking for?
Saturated?
Yes, thank you. The market just
overly saturated.
Yeah, the market gets overly saturated with very atypical stories of like, oh, got hit by Truck-kun, now you're going to be reincarnated in a new world. Oh, you get cheap isekai abilities. And Slime Tensei fits this bill extremely well. but it's still an enjoyable ride.
Well, it fits that bill in all but one way. Truck-kun does not make an appearance.
No, Stabby McKnife Man does.
Stabby McKnife is the one that makes an appearance in this one. This may seem like a really like banal thing to focus on, but I was actually very happy that it wasn't a fucking truck that sent this person into the fucking afterlife.
Or God.
That
God accidentally threw a fucking plant on your head because he was watering his plants and kills you.
Yeah. Yeah. I also love the fact that when what little we actually see of the real world in the first episode, there's actually a lot of humor in it because the main character's best friend, who actually had to go and look up what Rimuru's original name was, it's Satoru Mikami. I had to go look that up because after the first episode, no one uses that name. That his best friend opens like a letter and it's like, please destroy my computer.
No. Satoru,
No, he says it to him.
Yeah, Satoru was like, hey, I know that you're trying to show off your new wife to me, you bastard Kohai, but do one thing for me. Destroy my computer.
Yeah,
and then
don't look.
Destroy it.
And at the end of the episode, of the very first episode, after the credits, Kohai-kun is like, yes, senpai, and he throws it in the water.
Throws it in the water
In
and goes,
the bathtub too. And they even give a special little message saying, please don't do this at home.
yeah, please don't. That's like a little disclaimer, like, please don't do this at home.
Yeah, Slime Tensei is, it's action, but it's honestly more comedy than it is action, which is why it seems a lot more enjoyable.
I think it was a good thing that was established very early on.
Yeah, a lot of these other isekai, like the oversaturated market of isekai, have this like, oh, we're gonna add action, some comedy, harem drama, a little bit of this and that, to try to make it well-rounded, and it just ends up being bland because it's like nothing here is new, all right? Isekai has been out and about for like over
a decade, pretty much.
Yeah, a decade. Like it. I mean, we've had more isekai than that. Like, well, I don't know. Would you consider Dot Hack an isekai? I wouldn't. No, they were stuck in a game. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's different.
Yeah, isekai started out very slowly, and people were like, yeah, it's kind of okay, whatever. But it's nothing new. And this typical formula is fucking boring and bland, but Slime Tensei has a way about it that makes it better because they focus more on comedy than anything else, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well, I would say that you're absolutely right that so many isekai try to be well balanced by throwing a bunch of shit at the wall and seeing what sticks. But then you also have something like what ReZero did, where it's like, let's just make the main character suffer as much as possible.
It was suffer porn, yeah.
ReZero is an outlier, definitely, for isekai, because it does not follow any typical formula. And funny thing, one of the trends of isekai right now, at least that I know of, is cooking. If you guys know Death March, if you've seen Death March, if you actually read Death March, you know that it's more of a cooking light novel than anything else. And it's a
cooking story disguised as a fucking isekai.
I'm not even kidding. There's a bunch of isekai out there right now where they make cooking one of their main focal points, and I'm just like, that's cool and all, but like, this is not new. This is not special. You're not executing this pretty well. You're doing it pretty piss poor. Like, I get it. You're trying to like substitute content and world building with this cooking aspect that doesn't really fucking matter.
I'm sorry. I just had a thought about Gordon Ramsay being transported to an isekai world.
No.
And what that would be like. Japan, do it.
That'd be great, actually.
That would be great.
This is fucking garbage. What are you?
This orc is fucking garbage. I can't work with him.
That just makes me think of freaking Toriko. Like if you guys know what Toriko is, it's basically One Piece, but for cooking.
Yeah.
It's
Haven't
actually
watched
really
it,
great.
but yeah.
I think Toriko was made by the guy who made One Piece.
Oh,
really?
Jesus.
I think so. I don't remember. I just remember Toriko was something that came out, and it was like One Piece, but they were just going around cooking food and shit. Or maybe it was like Dragon Ball Z. I don't remember who made it. I just know that it was about cooking, and I read the manga, like the first 12, 15 chapters or so, and it was actually kind of entertaining, because it's like, this dude is super powerful, and all he wants to do is go around and cook rare food. Like, fuck everything else. Let's just cook rare food.
Oh, cute.
It's pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, get
So
back to this.
I think we're all agreed that the first couple episodes of Slime Tensei are pretty great at establishing like what's going on in the world, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, they were really
Alright.
good, and the animation they especially used in the first couple of episodes were phenomenal. They
Oh
actually
my God,
went
yeah.
somewhat down in quality of animation as the series went. I was pretty sad
Yeah.
about that because they actually experimented and did different things with how they showed the world and Rimuru, everything honestly. And I was honestly a bit disheartened about the fact that they took down the animation quality and the differences they made.
So
Lack of money will do that to a studio.
well, to be fair, the animation quality dips a lot because the later volumes or the later episodes don't have a lot of action sequences to it. It's a lot of just dialogue and talking and world building. So there's no need to go all out compared to the first couple
a
volumes.
lot of world building. A lot.
That
And,
does make sense, yeah.
And yeah, it really shocked me when I first saw the first episode because I was like, wow, the first 5 minutes of this show has more animation in it than all 3 seasons of Overlord combined.
Stop! Chill!
And
Chill,
Some-
bitch.
speaking of the animation, I was also surprised. You know when they have all the great sage scenes where it's literally just walls of text.
Yeah.
Like even that
Great
is
Sage is
animated
best girl.
really well.
Yeah, I love the effects in the show. The sound effects are really great. Like, I was blown a fucking way with the first episode. I was like, this is great. Because this is coming right off of the Overlord 3 and coming off of Death March, and I'm like, God, those were such shitty adaptations of what happens. Like, the animation qualities were garbage. How it was adapted was garbage. The storyline was garbage. So I was like, fuck, I really hope they don't fuck up Slime Tensei. Because I actually do like this. And then when I saw the first episode, I was like, oh my God, this is going to be great. It's going to be something I'm going to watch all season. And that's what I did. It's one of my 3 animes that I watched that season.
What were the other two?
The other, Kaguya and, oh shit, you know what? It was just Slime and Kaguya.
Oh, the
Not
other one you
even
dropped.
That's right. I dropped the other one.
What was the other one?
I don't fucking remember. I can check it real fast, but I just remember that it was something that I'm pretty sure I watched, but I was like, the anime is whatever. But I'm not entirely sure. So, just
see.
go ahead without me.
Okay. So I know that John will make the mention that this is actually a common idea in RPGs and JRPGs and isekai novels, but this idea of names conferring power to individuals is not really that popular outside of like Japanese fiction.
All right. So, I'm going to
I'm
shit
gonna
all
argue
over it. No,
with
no,
that.
shut up. Shut up, Chinoda. I'll shit on him. This is my job.
Damn it, but I agree with you!
Hello, Anime Club fans. It's John, the guy who shits on every fucking thing because I'm a bitter old man now. I don't think that Slime Tensei differs at all from any other isekai because this name and this naming thing is pretty fucking common in other isekai. Just because they don't have animes yet, I'm pretty sure they will. Named enemies are actually very typical, and where it's like, oh, look at this big bad. This named enemy is hella tough. What's gonna happen to the main character? Find out next week. And it's really boring in my opinion because it's like this is the main character. They always win, right?
To expand on this, names in a lot of cultures have power, is
Yeah.
a common belief. It's if you
Yes.
look among many cultures, I do say, names have a meaning to almost all of them, and the fact that Slime actually gave this a bigger representation, it is a little bit odd, but it's nothing new in the folds of storytelling and mythos. It is fairly common. Slime did do a better job of representing it, though.
So
Well, that was going to be my point. My point was that this is kind of a thing in the real world that the names of individuals can confer both power and influence.
all right, but the thing is, from a storytelling point of view, from Slime's like story point of view, the only reason this is in here, like the named enemy type of shit, is just an ex machina to make Rimuru OP. It's just a tool to be used like that.
I thought it was just a way to put him to sleep from time to time.
No, it's you can see it in the anime and also if you read the web novel or light novel. It's literally there so Rimuru can just keep powering up. It's like shonen time skips where it's like, oh, I was training in the mountains for a month. That's why I'm hella OP now type of shit. It's an ex
Well,
machina.
it's not just him. He's powering up everyone around him.
Yes and
Especially
no.
his allies specifically.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah.
all jobbers compared to like his true power. Like,
Oh
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, yeah,
but they
this is
still
true.
help him.
But still.
yeah, it's just I'm just saying that it exists in the show as just an ex machina. It's just a way out for the writer, which is kind of lazy, right? It's lazy to me.
It is in a way, yeah, for sure.
This is actually one of the complaints I do have about the web novel, that this trope that he uses of naming people and then gaining power and stuff, it's just how he levels up, and it's really stupid. Like, when he expends it, he gets more, and you'll find out later in season 2 more about the naming thing from Veldora, because Veldora's gonna let you know all about it later.
Veldora's the type of person that can't shut the fuck up for 5 minutes.
He's lonely,
Listen,
man.
I would listen to Veldora talk all day. I love that boy.
So I'm assuming it's fair to say, John, you don't actually think this concept is utilized that well in Slime Tensei.
No,
or at least it's utilized in a very lazy fashion.
It's utilized as an ex machina because the author of the series just wanted a lazy way to give him powers and time skip. Like time skip type powers without actually
Yeah.
writing content. Like there's no real reason.
Or without actually having a time skip.
Yeah, and it's a lazy later on when you find out like how this works, how the naming thing works, and how it actually it becomes part of it later because the author realized like, oh shit, this was just lazy writing. I need to fucking fill this gap. And it just made it worse for me because I was like, it's apparent that you didn't think about this when you started it. It was just a funny thing to do, an ex machina that you left there.
It's a lot like I mentioned this to Natai a couple of times. It's a lot like Giorno's power in part 5 of JoJo's, because there's a reason he's not around for a lot of it. It's his power is too OP.
Yeah, that's what and it's just lazy writing, man. That's why I don't think it's utilized very well. If there was an actual meaning to it from the start, then I'd have a different opinion, but there isn't. It's just a lazy
Or if it
writing.
was shown to have some kind of a limitation.
Yeah, and you'll
Where
find
there
out
were some creatures you couldn't name.
You'll find out in season 2. Probably. I'm assuming
Maybe.
if they covered the same amount of volumes in season 2 that they did in season 1, you'll definitely find out.
So I think it's fair to say you believe that Rimuru might actually be too OP.
Yes. Definitely yes.
I mean, if you think about it, a lot of his like abilities, especially like the mimic ability, it's a way out of almost any fight, because all you have to do is like swallow this enemy, and then any enemy that's even remotely like that enemy that approaches you ever again is fucking toast.
All right, so like literally Rimuru's slime ability of Predator is an ex machina written inside for the show for him to just conveniently be like, "Oh, you're approaching me?" Yada
It
yada
is a
does.
rather broken
Yada does.
It's like-
aspect, yeah.
And then every time it leads up to the fight, like you've seen in the goblin fight, the what was it, Orc King? Disaster? Orc King? Orc Lord?
Orc disaster,
Lord,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the Orc
Okolodo.
Disaster. All Rimuru does is, "Oh, you're approaching me? Predate." Fucking absorb. Just like Ifrit. Just like, that's how he solves all his problems. And
All
this
the major
happens-
ones, anyway.
Yeah. And this happens throughout the entire series. This doesn't stop. And it
I actually
sucks.
wonder, is there anything that he can't, like, if he wanted to, could he have eaten that whale?
Alright, so Charybdis, yes. So
Yeah.
I don't want to throw out too many spoilers because, again, this will all be revealed in season 2 because they talk about how his predation skill works, because it kind of works in tandem with naming and how magic works in the universe. This all gets explained by Veldora later. I don't want to spoil anything yet, not until season 2 comes out, and then if they don't adapt it, I'll let you guys know. But it has a reason of why he's OP, but it's really stupid because, again, it's just lazy writing. Like, here's a new big baddie. Oh, great sage combat skills. Oh shit, my combat skills don't work. What should I do? Oh, I can just predate. Yeah, sure. Fucking absorb. New powers. It's like, oh, well, that was anticlimactic. You fought them. He beat your ass because your skills suck compared to him. So you just absorb him. Like, oh, well, isn't that what you did for literally every single big baddie of every fucking volume? It doesn't change.
I also find it very odd that there hasn't been any other slimes at least introduced at this point yet. So I'm kind of wondering, is Rimuru like a unique monster in this world?
So unique monsters are named monsters in this world. Every monster, because they showed this in the beginning, where monsters don't have names unless they're unique, and the only people who can grant you names are people who are stronger than you.
Yeah.
So he's unique in the sense that, as we know, people from other worlds come there all the time, except Rimuru wasn't transported to a new world. He was killed and he reincarnated. So it makes him different because of that, which is why he has the cheat skill.
And it was also Veldora who gave him his name.
Yeah. So that lets you know, like, he obviously wasn't strong in the beginning, but once he gets named, he becomes a unique character, or a unique slime, because he's named now. And again, Veldora will explain this all later. I really don't want to say anything, because it's
I just think it would be a very interesting fight to have Rimuru go up against another slime.
A slime like him? I
Slime
don't think
on
so.
slime action. Ooh,
Yeah.
I would pay to watch
Slime
that.
on slime action.
Oh, Lord.
It would be the name of the episode. Slime on slime action.
Anyway,
You know Milam would be in the middle of that.
Anyway, stop looting Milam. Milam is a 10,000-year-old dragon. She's legal.
Wait, what do you mean stop? You mean keep on doing it?
I feel like the idea of like age of consent doesn't apply in this world.
Not really, especially when everyone else kind of just wants to suck your slime balls.
Your slime dick. Hey, the great thing about being a slime is size really doesn't matter.
Well, the thing about they talk about this in the episode where he gets Shizu's body, but he's actually not gendered. So he can take the forms, but it has no actual like genitalia.
I'm
Yeah.
sure he could find a way to create some if he really wanted to.
No, in the light novel, it's expressly said that he cannot make genitalia. He can make the shapes.
Oh,
but he
that's so
can't-
boring.
He can make the shapes, but not the functionality.
Yeah,
Oh,
Because
that's
he's
so
just-
boring.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure if he was like, great sage, I want to impregnate these girls, it'd probably come up with something. But Slime Tensei is actually very PG-13. Well, more like PG-14. It's a little bit more
Okay.
killing and stuff.
Well, you do see that when Rimuru turns around when he finally gets the humanoid body. It's like there's literally nothing there. There are no nipples. There's no genitalia. There's no nothing.
Yeah. So, in the light novel, it's dived into a little bit more, but basically he can make the genitalia if he wanted to, because to create shapes he just needs to use magic. But they will basically be what's that word?
Non-functioning.
Well, that's not the word I was
Sterile.
looking for. No. Fuck, what is it? It's vestigial.
Ah,
They'll be vestigial.
Gotcha. It'd just be for looks.
Yeah.
Interesting. I still think it'd be fun to watch him fight another slime.
I don't know, it'd just be a giant orgy of absorb.
Absorba. All right, so one thing I did want to talk about is the middle point of this season was slightly slower paced than the rest of the season, and I kind of want to talk about whether that helped or hurt the adaptation, because there's a point, like I want to say it's around episode like 8 to episode maybe 13, 14, where it starts to feel a lot like a slice of life show within an isekai.
All right. To be fair, the anime had 23 episodes total of like the actual anime, and this adapted 3 volumes of the light novel or of the web novel, or 4 volumes of the light novel, and that's a lot of episodes per like chapter
Per volume.
Yeah. Typically, we see like 12 episodes gets about 3 or sometimes even 4 volumes because they skip a shit ton of stuff. And for a show to get double the amount of episodes for the exact same amount of content, this is why it seems so slow. The very first 2 volumes are adapted, in my opinion, fairly well. They don't skip a lot of stuff. And when you get to like the second half of the second volume, that's when it starts to slow down, because it's like, all right, guys, like we did volume 1 in 5 episodes, volume 2 in like 6 episodes. So we're going to try to keep that same pace, but we still have like 13 episodes to go. Like,
Yeah.
unless we make
We got to fill this out somehow.
Yeah, so that's why it seems like it drags on. And to be fair, to be honest, the second half of the series, the last 12 episodes, there's a lot more dialogue and a lot less action. And they didn't include a lot of the dialogue, or they did include a fair amount of the dialogue and the internal monologuings of Rimuru, which is great. There's a lot of world building. And
yeah, a lot of internal monologues.
yeah, and that's because this sets it up for actually like volume 5, 6, and to the end 13, where all the shit happens. Like the next season is gonna be, as long as it's gonna be volume 5 and 6, 7 and 8, those 4, it's gonna be great because this is like where everything starts to connect. So I'm actually pumped for season 2, and I think it did well in the pacing, so that way we care more about the world. It's a little sad that we have to wait till honestly, was it 2020?
It's sometime in 2020. An actual date I don't think has been announced yet.
So we've got a while to go, but I think it did it fairly well.
I actually do too, because I like the whole world building concept, and it was like literally world building. They're building an entirely new country out of nothing. And it was kind of cool to watch it all come together by Rimuru going around and incorporating all these different races into this new community.
Yeah.
I'll agree to that. It was the fact that he went around and actually got allies for his own nation, and then forged alliances with other nations as well. On top of the fact that there was still plenty of characters.
So, sorry to interrupt you here, Shinoda, but
okay, no, that's fine.
He actually doesn't do that. So all he did was go to Dwarf City to get carpenters, because he's like, yeah, well, we can't live in fucking straw hats and stuff with these wolves and goblins now. And it's kind of like the world sees him, and it's like, he doesn't know his own worth yet. And it isn't until everyone else was like, you know what? This guy is a great guy. He's going to be the next, he's going to bring us all together. And they kind of just pile it on top of Rimuru. And that's why it's funny to me, because in most isekai, we have the main character guy going around and trying to make a difference. Rimuru was just like, yeah, I'm just going to take it easy, man. Slow life. Just do what I can do for now. And this is actually very important, because it plays into the very next couple volumes really well, where shit gets kicked into high gear. And that's why it's like this. It's on purpose. Trust me.
Well, that's the whole point is when I was watching this, I thought, well, I really hope this gets more episodes, because I feel like they're actually going somewhere with this. Like, there's a reason we're spending so much time doing this whole nation building thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be important down the road. It's like, but I gotta go with it for now.
Yeah, it all will make sense in the next season. Like I said, everything gets answered, and volume 5, 6, 7, and 8 are going to be gold. Trust me on this.
It's also amazing to me that, before Rimuru got here, it's like none of these people ever kind of thought to maybe work together to solve their fucking problems.
Well, that comes...
Well, that is the thing that was explained in Season 1. It's power is the strongest thing.
Yeah,
not
the thing is,
together and all that.
The monsters don't really have a hierarchy, because it's all a power, grab. Whoever is at the top, or anyone who's named, and anyone who's named is usually only named by people way stronger than them, like the Demon Lords or Demon Lord assistants.
Yeah.
Which is why... oh my god. Gotta clear my throat. Talking too much.
Have some water.
I haven't talked to anyone for a while, so this is why, it's not... Anyway.
That sounds so sad. I haven't talked to anybody in a while.
No, there's just some days I don't...
Hug me!
Some weeks I just go days without talking to people. Just don't worry about it. Anyway, I'm your fucking editor. I stay in my room all day. What do you guys expect? You want me to come on this podcast and
get
talk?
some sunshine, please.
No, sunshine is the enemy.
I know it is, but apparently we need it.
How can I become the star of source material if I have to go outside?
If he's not reading source material.
You can read outside.
Anyway, these monsters do not work together typically, because there is a power grab and a power vacuum, where one race believes it's stronger than the other. In the very first episode, when the goblins were being attacked by the wolves are like, well, since the dragon's gone, nothing's stopping us from expanding our territory. They could have lived in harmony with all the animals, right? With the goblins, the other monsters. But the wolves were like, fuck that, we're stronger. We'll just kill most of them and then make them take care of us and take over their village. That's why no one works together, because there's a power vacuum. When that exists, people are always going to come in and try to take over. What's that fucking lizard? The lizard who got named Gabriel?
Gabiru.
Yeah,
Gabiru.
Yeah.
Gabiru.
Gabiru. Gabiru.
I love Gabiru.
I love his little peanut crowd. The ones who are like, "You're so awesome, Gabiru." They're always so
Sasuke Gabiru.
his friends were just like,
Gabiru is like a lesson in hubris. It's why you never take yourself too seriously.
and I think they portrayed Gabiru really well because it's how he is in the novel. He's like, what a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
It's like
He's
so
so
far up your
lovable
ass.
though, is the thing.
Yeah, and he shows a lot more growth in the novel. So he actually, there's a lot of development and stuff in the series, which I really like. And
It's amazing because every single person or every single hierarchy in this story seems to exploit power vacuums the instant they see them.
yeah, because it's the only way to get on top in this world. Everyone values
Yeah.
power, which is why everyone's afraid of the demon lords. They sit at the top. You know, like I said, Milim being technically the physically strongest demon lord scares a lot of people. She's a disaster that if anyone pisses her off for any fucking reason, she could just wreck them with her Dragon Buster.
Dragon Buster.
I think that's what she calls her punch, Dragon Buster. But yeah, that's
I think so too.
and that's just how the world works, which is why again they don't work with each other because of this.
They do explain it, so which I found really good. They did a lot of world building in season 1, which
They did.
really is a good thing. It sets up the rules, it sets up the understanding, everything.
It's also why I don't actually fault the anime for doing this the way they did it, because if you think about it, Rimuru disrupted the balance of power by taking Veldora out of the cave, right?
Yeah.
But yet he's very slowly resetting that balance of power as he's gathering allies and having them join his new nation that he's building.
Yeah, and this is part of the, like, when he comes across a weaker tribe, he helps them out instead of, like, absolutely crushing them, making them slaves. Like, we saw that with the goblins, we saw that with the wolves, we saw that with the orcs, we saw that with the lizards, and then now the whole Jura Forest Alliance. Like, Trainee, the Dryad Trainee, fun fact, I thought she was Trainee as in, like, a secretary, but her actual name is actually Trainee. It's kind of funny.
Oh,
Yeah, it was a weird thing. I don't know why they spelled it trainee, like how we would say like
With an IE instead of an EE.
no with an EE in the web novel because it was a fan translation. So I assumed she was like a trainee because Rimuru thought she was going to be the one heading the whole operation for the forest, but her actual name is actually Trainee, like TRAYNEE. And I was like, oh, that's kind of weird, but also kind of
See,
makes
and that's
sense.
funny because the anime spells it a completely different way. It's like TREYNE or something like that.
Yeah, so her name is actually Trainee. She's not the trainee to take over, which is why Rimuru was confused.
And then Mal spells it TRAINIE.
Yeah, however the fuck you spell it. Anyway, it was Trainee that was like, you know, because the Dryads, in the novel, there is exposition where it talks about the Dryads are the ultimate protectors of the forest because they are the only ones who can commune with the Trents. Are they? Is that what they're called? The giant walking trees? Treants.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Triots.
So that's why the Dryads are considered in the Jura Forest the highest on the food chain right before Veldora or right after Veldora, because Veldora is obviously, you know, when he was sealed, everyone's afraid of disturbing the seal and then him just coming out and destroying everything because he's like literally 1 in 4 of the strongest things in the world. So other than him protecting the forest with his aura, the Dryads and the Treants are actually the strongest, which is why, again, everyone thought they were, well, Rimuru thought they were going to fill the vacuum, but when they dumped it on him, he was like, all right, well, since I have so many different nations now, so many different types of monsters, may as well just go along with it and just create this type of city where everyone can live freely. Because, you know, he's still human at heart, right? And he's like, he doesn't like seeing discrimination. And that's something,
It just
the anime really skips out on that because during the monologuing, when he fights the Star Wolves, when he saves the goblins, and when he fights the orcs, there's a lot more like dialogue in his mind where he talks about stuff, comparing it to the old world and how he feels this new world is fucked in the head by believing that these demon lords have to set everything up. He's like, that's stupid. He just wants to live peacefully. And
yeah.
this is why the episode where with Orc Disaster, the Orc Lord, was fucking beautiful because they actually did include the monologue where he talks to Gelmudo. Or is it Gelmudo? Who the fuck was that guy's name? The Orc Lord.
Gelmud.
So, yeah, when he talks to the Orc Lord, and the Orc Lord was like, yeah, I did this for my people. And this shows a lot of character because Rimuru was like, oh, this guy isn't actually bad because he wants to take over. He just had to do what he had to do to help everyone in his tribe survive. And I was just like, this is beautiful. Like, it brought a tear to my eye when I read it. And when I saw the episode, it still brought a tear to my eye. Because I was like, these orcs aren't bad people. They were just stuck in a shitty situation.
It's that old, like, thing with human beings. It's like a lot of humans are just generally good people, but you put them in dire straits and then their natural tendencies come out.
Yeah, it's us or them.
There's their nature for survival.
Yeah, and this all plays well into the founding of the city, and again, when the shit hits the fan, and what Rimuru, how he reacts. All these things that happen to him, even though the combat scenes are literally just OP, I'm just gonna eat you and take over, it does build his character.
Yeah, it was fun kind of for a few episodes watching him create the United States of Jura.
Yeah.
Oh, there. It's a lot more organized and stable than that.
For now.
No comment.
For now. Do you guys actually well, I know John probably knows the answer to this because he's read further ahead in the source material. Are there any actual downsides, you think, to being such a natural diplomat like Rimuru is in this particular world?
So the thing is, Rimuru isn't really a diplomat. Everyone else kind of just goes along with the flow and doesn't want to piss him off. Because Rimuru himself has too much resources.
Power.
Well, not just power. People aren't afraid of him about his power. They're afraid of him because of how he's trying to make everything equal. They see Rimuru as a tool to help advance and progress their nations. So that way they don't have to wage war. So that way they can trade stuff and progress into the future. They see his potential because, when the Dwarf Queen finds him and it's like, holy shit, this dude can produce like mithril swords in fucking 10 seconds. He can also produce this high-class medicine that can literally heal limbs. Like, holy shit, this is a great asset for our country. And everyone who comes into contact with Rimuru and sees how his city works and how he treats everyone equally understand that he is a just person that just wants to live peacefully. He is someone who doesn't want conflict. And he's not a natural diplomat in that sense because he's not actively going out and trying to forge these bonds. People are just attracted to him because he's trying to make the world a better place.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, he does act like a diplomat in the sense that he knows that he has the superior position when he negotiates.
Yeah, because he was a businessman before, so he understands that.
Yeah, he was a general contractor.
But again, it's not that he goes out and tries to make world peace. It's just part of his vision was, I just want to construct my own city that's free, that's recognized by the people, that's for the people. My country
shall not perish from this earth.
And the only downsides that I would consider about how he's trying to construct a everyone is equal type of country is that it disrupts the power balance because the corrupt people do not like that type of shit.
Well, corruption doesn't like equality in general,
Yeah.
so
It kind of sets it up for why like the demon lords try to pick on him, and also why like when we get exposed to the fucking corrupt holy city later.
I do hope they look into those themes a lot more in the next season, if possible.
Oh no, literally the next chapter is
for
going to
sure.
be about like Rimuru being too good and then people wanting to fuck him over. So that's why I'm excited
So
for the next
Rimuru
season.
will actually have to deal with corruption.
Rimuru has to respond to the worlds that now recognize him as a nation.
Okay, good.
Which is why, like
By
I
the
said,
way,
shit is going to hit the fan.
Yeah. I said one great thing about Rimuru in this sense is that if he likes you, he will give you an infinite supply of manga.
Yeah. Insta
Oh my
copy your manga.
god,
Yeah, all he has to do is, if he remembers it, he can copy it down.
and
I
he
thought that scene was
remembers
great,
a
when he's
lot
like-
of stuff.
I thought that scene was great. He's like, do you have some paper? And the guy gives him like a whole fucking stack of paper, and he ingests it, and then he spits out a fucking
Tankobon.
volume of manga.
Yeah. He spit out a whole entire tankobon. And it's really...
And then at the end he goes, oh, I don't know if this is actually adequate thanks for you, but bleh, and then manga just sprays out everywhere.
Yeah, and then like and this is to Yuki, the summoned hero who is the guild master who created the guild association, and he's like, "Master, I'll serve you forever."
Honestly, I'm surprised Rimuru didn't think to just hold back a bit and give him like one at a time just to hold some edge over
Oh, I
him.
think he's got more to give him. Don't worry.
It's because Rimuru knows that after the whole taking care of the kids arc, he knows that he needs to go back to his town, and he's not gonna be able to visit because now he left the diplomatic stuff to who's that old man? The old man goblin that became his
Rigard.
Yeah, Rigard. Yeah. So he left it to Rigard to do all the diplomatic stuff, but he knows that since he is now the chairman of the Forest of Jura and he has so many people to take care of, he can't like willy-nilly just go visit people. That's why he was like, this should hold him for a while, for the next, like, I don't know, 3 years before I need to go see Yuki again.
Yeah. It's also worth mentioning, I didn't realize this until it was pointed out. Like, there's nearly 2 years have passed from the start of from the first episode to the last episode.
Yeah. So the first.
Yeah, they did not like give us special time or anything. It seemed to.
No.
It just seems to take place naturally. You don't get a sense of time really passing, but you see it happening.
Yeah. So in the light novel, in the web novel, the first like arc happens in 2 weeks. And then once he establishes the first city, there's like a month after that. And then there's like 4 months after that. There's a lot of time skips.
Yeah. They're just time skips you don't really notice that much.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, the best way to do a time skip, honestly.
So like
don't really
It
notice
can be. It depends on the show and all that. A show like this and
true.
how they did it worked out beautifully.
Yeah, like after the Great Battle of Jura Forest, the Orc Lord thing, it's like a month. That's when they create the actual Federation of Jura Forest, or whatever the fuck it was. And then
The Jura Tempest Federation.
yeah, that. And then after that, there's like a half a year, and then Rimuru was like, "Oh, I should probably go." That's when he's starting to have the dreams from Shizu. That's when he's like, "I should probably go and see those kids." And then when he travels there, it takes him like a month. And these are things that are left out. The time skip stuff is left out because it's all just
Wait, it takes him a
backstory.
whole month to travel over there?
Yeah, because he traveled.
In the anime, it says 3 days.
Yeah, the wolf gets him there in like 3 days. He can run there with
Yeah.
I don't remember the wolf's name.
Fuck.
Yeah,
I know this.
Best wolf. Let's just call it that.
Tsundere wolf.
Ranga.
Yeah. So Ranga can get Rimuru anywhere hella fast because he can run really fast forever, for as long as his stamina holds out. But the thing is, Rimuru doesn't like traveling like that because it's like he's just constantly being jumped up and down. This is established when they first go to the Dwarf Kingdom, where they're riding the Shadow Wolves, and they're like, "Wow, this is a bumpy ride." But yeah, it takes him like a week or a month or some shit to get to the city because he encounters like wildlife and stuff, and it's just basic boring stuff. That's why they probably didn't include any of the time skips to show you because it's pretty boring. Like it being there, being just implied that it happened is fine, which I think was fine. Take fucking note, anime adapters. That's the type of shit that you need to leave out. Okay, things that are really insignificant that you can just infer to, and people would be like, "Oh, okay, that happened." All right, nothing really critical happens at all. Traveling, oh wow, he didn't encounter nothing. He just finds wildlife, talks about the world. Oh,
So you kind of mentioned this in a roundabout way, but this entire story is starting to have an absolutely massive supporting cast.
oh yeah,
And I'm starting and there are certain stories where that's great to have a massive supporting cast because it fills out the world and it makes for great world building. But in a way, I almost am very hesitant to say this is a good thing because as the story goes on, you want fulfillment for all of these characters. You want like an ending for like an ending to the story arc of these characters.
We want to see their story arcs finished.
All right.
I would hate for like down the road the story to be like we have to spend like chapters and chapters and chapters wrapping up everyone's story.
All right, so good and bad news. Bad news is the author is a fucking lazy piece of shit and likes to just introduce new characters and new elements to aid the story. Good news is the author definitely does not try to build them too much. Like they kind of just show up and like, hey, this is a new person. They're kind of important for like one thing, and they'll just be like in the shadows for the rest.
And then they're gone.
Yeah, but the main cast is still gonna be there. They're still the more important people, like the Rigurd, the Oni,
The
Gobuta.
council.
Yeah, like the main characters that we saw in season 1 are the ones who stick around. So don't worry. Every
Okay,
new
that's
character
fair
that
enough.
gets introduced after this isn't actually going to be like a reoccurring thing. They're not going to get their own arc. And again, it's because of lazy writing.
I hope not. I would hope not, because eventually it's gonna get the best of any writer.
Yeah.
Having to wrap up all of those stories. So I feel like I shouldn't ask this because I feel like it'll be explored more in season 2, but I'll ask John. Are the Demon Lords really incompetent, or is it just like a show?
All right. And as I've talked about, I don't know. Wait for season 2. You'll see.
God, it
all
seems
right, I'll
like,
say this.
like-
I'll say this. Walpurgis. That's all you need to know.
What?
Okay.
You'll know
Okay.
what
What?
that is. Walpurgis.
Okay. All right.
For all my web novel readers out there, you know what's about to happen next. The freaking banquet of
Okay.
demons. Walpurgis. Just wait.
I guess that'll be it. Okay. I guess some of there is one last thing before we wrap up. So, and I think this will also be explored in season 2 as well, maybe even further on. So, when Rimuru is narrating the story, typically towards the beginning or the end of each episode, he's always doing it in the past tense.
Yeah, because
So I'm wondering if this is like a hint of what's to come in the story.
I don't know. Maybe you should just read the web novel, all 13 volumes. They're all translated.
Oh, fuck you, John.
I know
Fuck
that.
you.
I know that. But I'm just saying, like, if it is, because I have a theory. I don't know if it's true or not. Of course, the novel's still ongoing, correct?
Yeah. No. It's so the main series is already done, and the
Really?
and the 2 bonus volumes are also already out, but they're not fully translated yet. But the main web novel, the 13
see.
volumes, are completely out and translated.
I see. Well, my theory is that he's telling the story in the past tense because, and the seed was planted when he went to do the take care of the kids arc, that there might actually be a way for people to get back to the worlds they came from.
No, I don't know, man.
So-
Just read.
My theory is that maybe he found some way to get back to the real world, and he's telling this story now.
I don't know.
That's
man.
my
You
theory.
could just read the light novel, the web novel.
I could just read the light novel. I know. I could do it. I know.
All right, just saying.
That's my theory. That's my theory, and that's just my theory of why he narrates in the past tense.
all right.
We'll see what
Anyway, so
happens.
to wrap this up,
I will
to
neither
wrap this
confirm
up, I want
nor deny.
I will take that under advisement. I want to ask John, since you have read the source material, I think you've sort of alluded to this throughout the course of this, but in your opinion, how was the quality of this anime adaptation? Was it good, bad, in between?
I honestly love the adaptation. A solid 8 out of 10. I love the actual graphic animation, something that I normally don't care about in shows, but it was just that fucking good. I love the music. I loved how fantasy and like slice of life it was set up, because this novel itself is really just a comedy slice of life, fantasy comedy slice of life, and it portrays that extremely fucking well.
Yeah, it's a fantasy slice of life with an isekai veneer.
Yeah, and it's pretty fucking well adapted. It did not leave out.
Also,
it did not leave out a bunch of
didn't-
major parts.
We didn't talk about this at all, but like both of the OPs are really good.
Oh my god. It sounds great, and the actual visuals for him were beautiful, and the fact that
Yes.
the very first OP and ED had a story, like if you actually just play them back to back, it was a full-on story,
Yeah, there were spoilers
and
in
like
it.
that was
really
really
cool.
neat.
There's
Yes, there were spoilers in
yeah,
it.
but it's okay. That stuff happens. All right, we didn't talk
That's
about this.
So par for the course in OPs and EDs these days.
We didn't talk about this, but episode 24 of Slime Tensei is an actual spoiler for something that happens way further on, and it's
Yeah, that is something we can
it's
talk about, because
super-
episodes 24 and 24.5 just felt like OVAs, and you said it's because they're both based on omakes.
all right. So first of all, at the end of episode 23, the Great Sage did say that episode 24 was an extra, an omake, and episode 24 is kind of just a teaser of what's going to happen in season 2, like towards the end of season 2. And episode 24.5 is an actual omake that actually comes from the novel and is also in the manga, where it's the point of view of Veldora because of reasons.
Because best boy.
Veldora is best boy. He's fucking... One thing I like, my favorite characters so far in there would be Milim and Veldora. And that's because they actually interact with Rimuru. Everyone else around Rimuru kind of just acts like, oh, all hail great Lord Rimuru. Nothing he says is ever
Sasuga.
wrong. Yeah, like Sasuga. And they're kind of just like bending backwards for him. But then
it's a lot like how people respond to Gabidu, except not as vocally.
Yeah, and they're not even like funny like Gabiru's crowd. They're kind of just like, oh, whatever, Rimuru, you're super strong. We just listen to you. But then Veldora and Milim are like, yeah, we don't give a shit. And they play off each other like Tsukome and Boke. And I fucking love the dynamic between them, which is why Veldora and Milim are my favorite characters. Also, Milim is super cute. She's so cute. She's so stupid, but so strong.
She's Oh man, you're such a lollipop.
Must protect.
Okay, I'm gonna argue with
she's
that
of
for a
legal
moment.
age,
She's
though.
not,
Come on.
Not even the fact that she's legal age or anything. The fact that she doesn't even look like an actual lolly. Like, she barely does. She looks more like
Oh,
a teenager
no.
than anything.
That's debatable.
I don't
Shinoda.
know. I don't want to go to jail tonight.
That's debatable.
I mean, there's nothing illegal about saying Milim is cute because she's a 2D animation. Can't arrest me for
That's
this,
true.
FBI.
As we talked about in our previous episode. So I do want to mention my favorite story arc was the Orc Lord arc. I love that story arc because of the way it's portrayed. Like it's literally it's an allegory for human beings coming up against impossible odds and doing what they have to do to survive.
Yeah, it's a very great arc. I loved reading it and I loved watching it, and I thought it was done really well. I was concerned about the pacing. So initially, I was worried about the pacing. I always talk to Jason because me and Jason have already read this web novel, but I was concerned about the pacing that they wouldn't even get to the children because I was like, oh, it looks like they're only going to do the first 3 volumes, not the 4th one. But they did, so it's fine.
Yeah.
Initially, it looked like it was just gonna be a fight of bad guys versus good guys and all that. But then, like they actually went into it and explored it, and it was a lot more morally great than that. And I really appreciated the fact that they went there.
Well, they kind of
it was more mature.
Yeah. So something about the Orc Lord arc that you guys don't know because you don't read the web novel is that the fight scenes are actually longer in the web novel because all the Oni actually fight their own battles and have their own dialogue and reflect, and they actually try to fight the Orc Lord themselves. And they kind of just brush over that because, you know, they got time slots to fill, and they've already made us wait like 3 episodes to see the fight, and then they wrap up the fight in like 18 minutes. I was like, this fight could actually last for like 2 episodes, a full 40 minutes for for 2 episodes because of
the build-up was good, though.
But then that's one thing that I complained about because I was like, the payoff was pretty terrible because there was a build-up, but they don't even include like the super cool stuff, like when Shion tries to fight him with her sword, or when fucking Benny Maru tries to fight him with magic.
That would have been nice to see. Yeah.
Yeah, and it kind of just shows.
That would have been great.
Well, the thing is, like, they kind of just like fight him for a second, right? Do that one hit, and they're like, "Oh, we can't fight him, Lord Rimuru." And then Rimuru comes out of because in the novel they actually do have their own chapters for this fight, where it's detailed about how they're trying to fight him. They try different aspects, and then Rimuru does come in and save him later. But it's when it becomes more of a close call and someone almost gets fucking eaten that he steps in. It kind of just like, catches the fist. You know that typical fighting thing where someone comes out of nowhere and catches the fist, and then like, oh, who are you? Nani?
Oh my god!
Yeah, it's kind of
Nani?
Kind of like that.
Bakana!
Yeah.
Or my favorite one is where people catch swords. It's like, really?
Yeah, dude. Catch it with 2 fingers.
Listen, it's a cliche as fuck trope, but I love it.
Hey,
oh my
man,
god, I love it.
Action sequences need to have shit like that, all right?
Yeah, you're right. It just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's needed.
Anyway, so again, to reiterate, they skipped very minimal, big important things from the source material to be adapted, and I thought it was a solid adaptation. I'm waiting for season 2.
Yeah. What to your knowledge was there any? Well, this would be your knowledge. Was there any anime only content, or did it just draw specifically from the light novel / web novel?
Other than episode 24, but then again, that's more like a teaser of what's to come.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. Well, does anyone have anything else to say before we wrap up?
Slime Tensei
Milim best
2020. Milim is best girl.
Yeah, Mila best girl. It's safe to say that all of us are looking forward to the second season in 2020.
Yeah, man.
Oh, most definitely. So long as
kind
they
of
keep
hoping
up the
that-
quality and everything, I'm gonna be happy.
Yeah, and I'm hoping that I'm surprised that 8-Bit did as good a job on this as they did. So good on them. I'm kind of hoping that with the announcement of a second season so soon that they're kind of planning to do a full-on adaptation, which would be great.
That's risky.
my
Do you
only
think they
It's
So-
risky,
really
but
would?
My only concern here is that they already adapted 4 volumes, right? So they have 8 to go. Or no, what's that? 9 to go. So
9
are they
to go.
going to smash all 9 into 24 episodes? Are they going to smash like only 4 more volumes or 3 more volumes and then save the last 4 or 5? Like, I don't know how they're going to split this up.
we don't have an episode count, so we don't know exactly how they're going to do that either.
I'm hoping that they just take 3 volumes for the next ones because those are in a block, and then save the last 5 for its own last season because the last 5 kind of just goes really fast. It's all fights.
Okay, how
I would be okay with
long
that.
do you think season 2 should be? 24 episodes, and then season 3 be 12 episodes?
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
Season 2 would be 24, and season 3 would also be 24. It should stay 24.
Oh, really? There's enough content for that much?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. But I would be thrilled for a complete adaptation. There seems to be way more openness in the anime industry now for complete adaptations of light novels and manga. So hopefully that's what we're gonna get.
I'm again extremely shocked that they didn't rush this. And-
I'm glad they didn't, because holy fuck, it really blew it out of the park.
Rush? You mean like Overlord?
Yeah, man, 3 volumes for 12 episodes. That's pretty typical, though, right?
Yeah. It seems to be any more par for the
Or
course.
1 volume for two or 3 episodes. Oh man, it's the best. Ugh.
All right. Well, if no one has anything else, thank you all out there for dropping in to listen to us. We hope you enjoyed it because we always enjoy bringing this stuff to you. If you want to check out previous episodes of the podcast, you can find us on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes. If you want to keep up with what we're doing and have a little more fun, you can join our Discord server, become a member of our Facebook group, follow our Twitch channel, and visit our website. And if you have any questions, comments, criticisms on this or any episode, feel free to shoot us an email. Links to all of these things will be down below in the description. As always, I have been your host, Alex, and I will see you next time. Say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Thanks for joining us, guys. See you next time.
Slime. I love how they say slime. Slime.
We'll be right back.